Hey, this is Reverend Valerie Love. So I wanted to have a little chat with you about hexes in the Bible. Now, the Bible, this one right here being one of my favorite versions of the Bible, an Amplified Bible. I love this Bible. I read the Bible a lot. And about a week ago, my soul got the urging to search the book of Psalms for the book of Psalms for the word trust. I wanted to have an in-depth understanding of the word trust, and something told me in myself to look for it in the book of Psalms. So I sat down to intentionally look for the word trust and every instance of the word trust in the entire book of Psalms. Now, there's 150 Psalms. And I can tell you that several hours later, I had read the entire book of Psalms. Yes, it was a drink from a fire hose. No question about that. Yes, it did take me quite a while to do it. And yes, when I got up, I was like, woo! I was electrified. And here's why I was electrified, because I went looking for trust and I found praise. Yes. I went looking for trust in the book of Psalms and I found praise, which told me that people who trust have a lot to praise for, and people who praise trust. Profound revelation. So I got up from Psalms, praise God, praise God, praise God, oh ye saints, praise God. I think for about 2 whole days I was on praise God for everything. Ooh, there's that, praise God. Ooh, leaf, praise God. Ooh, I got skin on my body, praise God. You read enough Psalms, you be praising God like you have never praised God before in your life. So, as I was in the book of Psalms with my magical self, some scales began to fall from my eyes, and I started to see some things I had never seen before, including two powerful hexes. Now, I'm not a gal that casts hexes on people. I don't believe in doing dark kinds of spells. I don't believe in wishing harm on anyone, because there is the threefold rule that whatever you send out comes back to you 3 times multiplied. There is a thing, that's what we call the Wiccan rule, Wiccan read, and in Christianity we call it the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. In the Buddhist world, we call it karma. So in the eastern part of the world, we have a name for it, karma. That means do stuff and stuff's going to come back at you. In the Christian and the Western world, we have the golden rule, which means better treat people good, do unto them as you would have done unto you. And the other part of that we have in the Western world with the Bible is, as you sow, so you will also reap. So be careful what you put out there, because that's what's going to come back to you. And we may not like how it comes back. So be careful. So I'm not a person that does dark stuff, evil stuff. No, 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 I just don't do that. I send love and light to everybody. Okay? Everybody. So what you can imagine my shock and horror at reading this hex that David himself, King David, whom was God's beloved, cast on his enemies. Now I'll tell you where the hexes are. The first hex is in Psalm 69. The second hex is in Psalm 109, verses 6 through 20. I'll read you a few of the verses from the passage. Here's Psalm 109 in verse 6. It says, set a wicked man over him. He's talking about all the people who have done him wrong. That's who David is talking about. He says he's praying to God. He's speaking out. Set a wicked man over him as a judge, and let a malicious accuser stand at his right hand. That means if he has any cases, let a wicked judge be the one that presides over him. Ew. When the wicked is judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer for leniency be turned into a sin. Like, no mercy, no prayer for leniency. Let his days be few, and let another take his office in charge. Let his days be few. That means you want him dead, and you want somebody else to take over his position. Let his children be fatherless, and his wife be a widow. Ugh, you're killing the man. Let his children be continual vagabonds, as was Cain, and beg. Let them seek their bread and be driven far from their ruined homes. Now he's calling ruin on their home, ruin on the children, and let the children be continual vagabonds. They can't never rest. They can't never come home. Let the creditor and extortioner seize all that he has, and let strangers, barbarians, and foreigners plunder the fruits of his labors. I don't have to go any further. I think you get the drift here. I think you get my drift. This is a powerful hex. Now, I would not speak these words over anybody. Delete those words that I just read to you. I would not speak those words to anyone. I would not want that to come upon anyone. If you read the context, you see that David is really frustrated because these people in his mind have done him wrong and he wants justice from God. I'm not quite sure what kind of prayer that is for somebody's children to become continual vagabonds. That doesn't sound like a loving prayer, yet it is a very honest prayer because David was mad. And when you're mad, you just want something bad to happen to somebody else. So when you read Psalm 69 and Psalm 109, you will find two powerful hexes. Why am I pointing this out to you? I'm pointing this out to you because magicians know that power is in the word. The incantations, the evocations, and the invocations that a magus speaks has power. David knew that because David is the father of Solomon, one of the greatest mages that ever walked the earth. Solomon was a mighty magical one. Not only was he magical because he asked God for wisdom when God asked him, ask of me what you will, you can have anything. Not only was he blessed with the ability to wisely lead people, he was blessed with wisdom. The book of Solomon, the ancient writings also tell us that Solomon was granted nothing short than the secrets of the universe. Solomon could speak with animals. Solomon could ascertain the plant kingdom and understand trees and nature. Solomon could understand birds and flying creatures. He could communicate with all of those. Solomon was the man. So Solomon came from David. So David knew the power of the tongue. But you can put a hex on somebody, you can curse someone, you can bless someone with the same tongue. And my urging for you is bless, bless, bless with your tongue, because then that's what's going to come back to you. Read the text when you get the opportunity, Psalm 69, Psalm 109, and know and understand that if you don't want any of those things to befall you 3 times over, then you probably wouldn't speak them over anybody else. And commit yourself to being love, to showing love, to sharing love. And once you commit yourself to that, Put your tongue under a spell of love, and let all you speak be loving, uplifting, kind, truthful, and let the tongue be a blessing. I love you. Be blessed. Valerie Love. Visit me online at valerielove.com. Mwah!